What's up? Fantasy session, guy.
Ladies and gents, welcome to this brand new, I like, what do you call this? Something like podcast or what?
A little podcast thing.
Little podcast thing, you know, guys, this is our little podcast setup. You guys can notice this is like the Do Night studio. So honestly, we have this space. Might as well turn it into some sort of like podcast stadium, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, do a little pod on like, what's good, to help you guys out.
Yeah,
So,
you know what? I feel like most of you guys who are watching Yu-Gi-Oh! Or watching Yu-Gi-Oh! Content, we always want to get better at Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yep.
Today, welcome to our brand new series. I guess we're going to call it Tech Talk.
Tech Talk. I like that.
TT.
Tech Talk. TT.
TT!
Yeah, it's tea time.
It's tea time, baby. So today we're all going on Tech Talks, and we're moving on to a brand new format now.
Yes.
By the time you guys are probably seeing this video, it's February. And what's in February, Pac? What do you think?
In February, we get the release of Phantom Nightmare, right? With the inclusion of Maze of Millennia. These two sets merged together to create what we are going to be looking at as the Year of the Fire, right?
Year of the Fire, baby.
Fire decks have gone inherently strong boosts from these two new sets, and as you can expect, the format has changed as a result. So
Drastically.
So we have to talk about, okay, what are good to play now, right?
Yes, like what are some good tech options?
Yep.
What are good cards you guys can play in this side deck? What are some good cards you guys can play in the main deck?
Yes.
So you guys have an idea on how to properly deck build. Obviously, there's so much competitive content. Well, not as much competitive content on YouTube, but we're here on Tech Talk to talk everything, all techs, main decks, hand traps, side deck options, board breakers, and so much more. And in today's video, we're going to be mainly focused on what?
Hand traps.
Hand traps. So guys, there are so many hand traps that you guys probably don't even know existed, actually.
Yeah, there are some that we will talk about it and you'll be like, no way this exists. And I'll be like, yes, it does.
Yes, and actually, they might be good in your side deck or even potentially in your main deck.
We have a couple spicy cards we threw in there, so look, I'm not saying you guys need to go buy them out. I know y'all fiends, all right? Let's keep this game affordable, you know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, we got some spicy cards in there that we definitely do want to bring up. Some cards I am considered siding myself, so yeah, we'll get into it. You'll see what I'm talking about. It's important to know all these, what hand traps you should main and what you should side. But what's the point of knowing all this if you don't got the sleeves to go with it? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, like that.
Get the best sleeves in the game using Pack10 at TakeSomeone.com.
Also, catch us at NEYCS because we got some free sleeves to give out.
Exactly.
So we have limited quantity. Usually they go on the first 1 minute we walk in the end.
Bro, people are so mad at me. They're like, bro, sleeves sold out. I'm like, bro, it's not my fault. You should have been on TakeSomeone.com.
Every YCS, we give out free sleeves. We usually bring 50 on us.
Yep.
But they're usually gone in the first minute. Cause
at Bologna, I brought 30 with me. They were gone within the first 10 minutes I walked in the video. I can't even cap.
Thank you guys so much. Love you. Visit TX1.com. Pack 10% off. All right, let's talk about the hand traps. All right, guys. So we're doing a little tier list today on our tier talk. So you guys see on our tier list side of things, we got the top tier, which is main deck. What would you classify as main deck?
So,
what does that mean?
So the first category, main deck, is something that you would feel good about putting your main deck, right? So if you go to a YCS, a premier event, you're going to an OCS championship, something along those lines, whatever, and you're trying to do well, these are cards that if you were to put in your main deck, you won't feel bad about. In fact, you're actually happy to draw these cards in that game one, that all-important game one, right? So that's going to be kind of that category that we're going to be using, the fact that you want to see these every game one, pretty much.
And of course, the next category is the side deck.
Yeah, the side deck, right? So these are cards that are definitely strong, but are more they're considerable. They depend on the matchup you'll go against, right? So you're not gonna you're not gonna have a very specific card in the main deck game one. So that's where the side deck comes into play, where if there's a certain matchup where it might be a weakness for you, try to find some silver bullets that we can put in that side deck to help combat those issues, right?
True.
That's what the side deck is gonna be for, that category.
And obviously side deck options is these cards won't work with every single matchup.
Yep, exactly.
It's only matchup specifics because usually the main deck cards should cover basically the entire
wide general meta. Exactly.
General population. And next we got experimental. How would you classify experimental?
You know what I'm saying? These are the more
trying to be spicy.
Yeah, they're the sussy options,
Sussy options.
But hey, they have potential. So you don't want to completely
disregard
exclude them. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
They might have potential in the future. So I want to put these cards in considerable for you, for the radar for you guys. It's to pay attention to.
True.
Maybe there's going to be a point in time where the meta shifts where these cards are good. So you should start looking into these to maybe moving to the side or the main, depending.
True. All right, and the last tier is we got go home. What's go home, bro?
Well, you know what I'm saying? These don't belong anywhere. They belong at home. like in the bulk box, you know?
In the box.
Yeah.
Don't even try.
Yeah, the vendors offer you a quarter for these cards because that's how trash they are. Maybe if you're lucky.
All right, guys, here we go. We're starting off strong with the first card on the list. We got Battle Fader. Wait, why are you laughing? It's pretty good.
It's a considerable for the side events.
wait, you in for the side events?
No, bro. This is not even go home tier. This is like go back in time tier, dog. Like this shit, we ain't in 2011. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. What are we doing night?
Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, we're not dual night. Like, you know, Battlefield, in dual night, Battlefield could be nice. You know what I'm saying? In tribute, Battlefield, your opponent next turn, tribute for Kai's. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, 2-card combo, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you put that shit in now, you might not win the game. So, like, let me help you out, you know what I'm saying?
All right, Battlefield. Okay, obviously we're just trolling.
Yeah, trolling.
Okay, so but Battlefield go home, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's a very terrible tier.
Okay, Ash Blossom.
It's a fire monster. Year of the Fire. Nah, I'm trolling. Ash Blossom is like it's just good.
It's basic.
Like Ash has like been the catch-all, like, you know what I'm saying, like the catch-all Pokemon for like everything.
She's like the Charizard.
Exactly.
Like everybody must have her. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So I would put Ash in like the main deck tier.
Of course.
It will always be good no matter where you're at, no matter where you be. You can be in table 500. That card would do something.
That's true. That's true. In any tier, in any given format, Ash Blossom is going to be good, especially in this format. You know, a lot of searches. Snake Eye Ash. You're searching a card. Ash that.
Ash. Nice.
Wanted. Search Ball Star. Ash. What else?
Little bonfire thing. Ash.
What else? Origin.
Yeah.
Ash.
Right.
1 for 1.
Ash.
What else? What else can be Ash here?
Ash.
You guys get the point. You know, big welcome.
Ash.
You know what I'm saying? Welcome.
Ash.
You know what I'm saying? So obviously,
Ash is really good.
Yeah, really good this format. Okay, the next card, let's talk about Ghost Belle.
I really like this card. I almost wanted to main deck it because of how good it is against like you can Belle Wanted. Like people don't know that. Like the Wanted spell doesn't only add Deal Stars from the deck to the hand, it can add from the grave too.
Wait, what?
Yeah, so you can Belle Deal Star like the Wanted spell to get access to Deal Star. Yeah. It's nice. It's not too bad. Too bad.
Definitely dual purpose. Definitely against that deck. And also you can build the Flamberg, right?
You can build the Flamberg to bring back 2
Oak.
You can build the Oak. You can build the Promethean Princess as a fact to like pop one of their cards and like pop one of yours.
True.
You can build the Garunix in the grave, right? So definitely like some multi-purpose. I would still put and then obviously it has coverage against Labyrinth, which is gonna be like the other tier 1 deck that everyone is anticipating.
Yes.
So you can Belle Big Welcome. That's obviously gonna be very strong, right? So I would put it in the side deck because like there are some matchups. Let's say you play against like, like game 1 you play against like a rogue matchup, right? It might having Belle might not be good for that reason.
Exactly. True. And obviously like if you're playing on a competitive level, not all decks will be like the top tier decks until like later tables, right?
Like the way like at a YCS, right? I always tell people this, like you're not gonna play like Fire King Mirrors every round, right? Unless like those happen in like tier 0 formats. Like when Tier Limit was the best deck at YCS Pasadena, I played 11 tier mirrors.
That's crazy.
And then one missing mind guy. You know what I'm saying? That was round 1. Like that goes to show, like at another YCS you go to, like you're gonna play a lot of rogue decks, and like when you have Belle in your main deck against these rogue strategies, it's not gonna do you too much justice. So.
True. So obviously definitely a side deck option for Belle. Covers the Labyrinth, semi covers, of course, the Fire Kings and also the Fire decks. Definitely has multiple purposes, but 100% I do agree that Belle in the side deck is actually really great. Next, let's talk about Ghost Ogre.
Oh
damn. Yeah, this card is like it's one of the very first hand traps aside from Veilers and Maxis. It's like one of the newer ones, the first Ghost Sister.
The first Ghost Sister, yeah.
Yeah, like what would you think about her?
I would put Ogre in like considerables, like experimental.
Sure.
Just because like that card always come ins and out of formats, and maybe like the card becomes good. Like maybe like you can Ogre Fire King Island. I don't know, like.
But the field spell, Sanctuary.
Yeah,
like
Sanctuary.
The continuous spell.
The Sanctuary like protects it, right? So so like it's like not always good.
It just depends on certain scenarios, right?
Yeah, like I don't see it being good against Fire King, and I don't see it being very good against like Labyrinth.
Yeah.
But like maybe it's like decent against like the Silence Enforcer deck, right?
True.
Like for example, or like Voiceless Voice as they call it.
Voiceless Voice, yes.
Like you can Ogre Barrier, the spell that adds.
Yes.
It's like My Friend Pearly, like an Ogre.
Oh yeah, true.
And then you can Ogre their Trap, which is a pop, right? So like it has some like applications there, but I don't know. I think it's fine for now. I'll put it in considerable. Maybe it becomes good in the future.
Experimental, definitely for sure. And obviously, who knows how well Voiceless Voice would do here in TCG?
Yeah, exactly.
Because right now, like everybody's talking about Snake Eyes and Fire King Snake Eyes. So Ogre being an experimental definitely makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All right, so let's talk about Nibiru. This card, The Rock, baby.
I like Nibiru, and I like putting it in the main deck because I feel like people know it's a card, but they don't play around it enough. You know what I'm saying? People always like do some funky stuff, and like they always play in the Nib somehow.
Yes.
So I always like it, and then I feel like when you go first, game one,
it's so much stronger.
You have Nib in your hand, like, and you fully accomplish your board. Having Nib is like it's like the nail in the coffin. Like, it's so hard for your opponent to like break your board and kill you when you have Nib, you know?
It's like, for example, like you play in Master Duel, and like you break their board and then they have Maxi.
Yeah, exactly.
Like they have a full board of Maxi.
Yeah, you're like, oh, I'm about to beat this. Oh, Maxi. I mean, I'm not. You know, Nibiru's no Maxi. You know, there's no cockroach, but it from that comparison, you know.
True. Yeah, Nib is definitely a good main deck options. Honestly, and what I've noticed that during next format, there isn't a bunch of like negates. You know what I'm saying? Like, except like other than you're playing Vanadium. But if you're playing Vanadium, like you might as well not. Like you might as well not enter the YCS. You know what I'm saying? But like I feel like there isn't much negate.
Nib is hard to play around. You have to play very specific. Like you have to combo and sequence in a way that and it's like you actively choose to play around that card, but you might play a little bit more into other cards, right? So having Nib in the main deck is really nice because it puts your opponent in like this kind of like pinch where like they have to decide like, damn, do I play around the Nib or like does this play a little, you know, a little bit into like the Imperm, right?
True.
Like they have to like make that conscious decision, and that's very difficult for a lot of the average player base to do, right?
True. Okay, so Nib definitely a main deck option, and also next card let's talk about Artifact Lancea. Ooh, a little Lancea action thing going on.
Yeah, so you know, I think like one of the best things that competitive players can do is like, you know, pay attention to the OCG. Like, of course. And I think we put this card on here to talk about because in the OCG, a lot of them are setting Lancea, right?
Lancea's in the side deck,
exactly.
Which is huge.
And they usually be siding two of them, you know what I'm saying? Like they be siding like one Lancea to troll.
Yeah,
but when I saw three, I'm like, hold up. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe they're onto something here. And so like, you know, I did a lot of research into like, you know, the underground OCG scene, you know what I'm saying? And I found out that the reason why they're siding Lancea is because when they go first, Lancea stops so early, so it stops evenly matched, right? Two cards are like
really huge.
Really huge, yeah. Well, we'll talk about that in like another video about those type of like impactful tech cards. But yeah, so evenly being stopped by Lancea is like kind of clean.
True.
The other reason is because Infernoid is a really big threat in the OCG. Huge, right? They have Grass, they have Reasoning, they have a bunch of like power spells, and they recently got a lot of new Infernoid support for the OCG. So that deck is definitely a deck that also makes really good use of the fire support, right? The Promethean Princess, the bonfires, all that good stuff. So I think that's why they're siding Lancea. Obviously, in the TCG, we don't have the support. Yet. We don't have the Inferno support yet. That'll come up in a different set. I believe it's called Terminal World.
Terminal World, yes.
Yeah, Terminal World. So we don't have that set yet, but obviously, like that's something to consider. So I'll put this in like, you know, experimental.
Experimental, yes. Yeah. I do agree. Stops evenly matched, stops soul release, which we'll dive deeper into the next videos on Tech Talk, but definitely a considerable option.
Yeah.
It just depends on, like you said, on different type of formats.
Like if Virtual World becomes like a little bit stronger, then maybe you want to put Lancea in to stop like a lot of the graveyard banish effects. True.
All right, let's go on. This is kind of the same. We got Infinite, Impermanence, and also Effect Veiler.
Yeah.
What would you like? They're similar cards. What would you put that here on this tier list?
Main deckable.
Main deckable, really strong.
It's just really good. You know what I'm saying? Like your opponent starts Witch, like people are like Veiler, Impermanence. It's like almost ashing a chaos space, right?
Yes.
So like it stops your opponent from getting to original. So if they go once and you summon the Witch and then you imperm that, it stops them from getting access to original.
True.
Which stops them from getting a draw off the wanted spell, right?
Yes.
So Imperm Veiler is really, really strong. And like also like Snake Eye Ash is like a +10 on a normal
It's
summon.
crazy,
So being able to Veiler Imperm that is like really good as well.
Yeah, like Veiler Imperm Ash is actually really huge.
Yeah.
Because you don't get the dual purpose of accessing to the game or something Flambeau from the deck.
Exactly.
And then you have to play some sort of like weird gimmicky ways to use Oak to buy back Ash.
Yeah.
So that way the Ash is like new. You know what I'm saying?
Ash, yeah,
it's a new Ash on the field. So Veiler, and also in conjunction with like Nib.
Yeah.
Like Veiler Nib, Veiler Imperm Nib, even those negate boards.
Yep.
They have to have 2 negates out.
Yeah.
To actually be able to beat that board.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so it's pretty crazy. I
think card's solid, yeah.
Card's solid. All right, next let's go Ghost Mourner. What do you think about Ghost Mourner?
I think Ghost Mourner is like, if we expect Veiler and Imperm to be very strong cards in the format, and you want more copies of those type of cards, you would side Mourner, right?
Yeah, sure.
So I would put it in like a side deck option, like a consideration for the side deck.
Side deck, yes.
Just because like, you know, it's a 7th, 8th, 9th slot of like Imperm, like Effect Veiler type negation,
yes,
right?
Exactly.
And it's really strong against Witch because Witch is a special summon, right?
Exactly.
Obviously, it's not as strong against like Ash, but I think like overall, like it's something to consider.
100%.
Yeah.
Okay. So definitely unconsiderable. Definitely a side deck option.
Yeah,
I do agree with that. Let's go on with Fantasme.
Ooh,
card's nice.
I like this card. When I first started playing the game in 2019, Fantasme was like $100, and I only had one copy in my deck, and I was like swearing nasty to all my friends. I'm like, yeah, I got that one Fantasme. What's up? Got that Benjamin in my deck. But I love Fantasme. It holds a special place in my heart. I think the card's like really cool. It replaces your hand to make it like more optimal. So it's like a nice little mulligan there, and it allows you to draw into like more hand traps, right?
Exactly.
I think like that type of card works more specifically in decks like Labyrinth.
True.
That like want to like draw specific
hands.
combinations in order to like play on your opponent's turn, right? So like we all know that like Clock and a Furniture, turn 0, is like it allows you to get a pop in your opponent's turn.
Yes.
But it can also like maybe facilitate your hand so that you can like maybe do like a turn 0 play with like transaction rollback. Right?
True.
So I think like that's kind of like where that card really shines.
Yes.
I'm not sure if it would be just as good in a deck like Fire Kings or any other decks. But it is a consideration where like if you feel like you need to draw more hand traps, like it can help you there too.
Yeah, so you definitely put it in the side deck option.
I'll put it in a side deck, like, you know, I wouldn't say it's like a considerable because I could actually see it being in the side deck.
Exactly,
right?
and also like in a link format, which we're gonna be in.
A lot of people are linking something.
Yeah. So
Fantastic. They make Karibo early.
Exactly. So you can definitely draw. Sometimes even Sunlight Wolf Karibo, you're drawing 3 cards.
Yes.
You're putting back 2 cards, right? Like you're just having more options, more flexibility to fix your hand. Also, Princess Targets.
Princess Targets, ooh.
So remember, so Fantasme, if you want to deal with that immediately, so that already checks off a threat on the field.
Yeah.
Also, like what else targets? Snatch Steal?
Snatch Steal targets.
Change of Heart.
Your opponent like Espilonite targets. Like I think the fact that that's really neat is also like, let's say like we find out like a card like Nibiru is very strong in the format. You want more copies of, like you want a higher percentage to see Nibiru.
Yes.
Fantasme helps you dig for that Nib, right?
Yes.
So, and yeah, the thing, you're absolutely right. Like you can use Fantasme later in your turn to get you those draws. And a really cool aspect about Fantasme is that it's a trigger on when a Link monster is special summoned, not when a Link monster is Link summoned.
True.
So, and the main distinction is that let's say your opponent activates Link Karibo's effect in the graveyard. It should be level 1 to summon, so that you can trigger the Fantasme, right?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So take notes, baby. Take notes. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so now let's go on the same category, I guess, as Fantasme. We got Fire Attacker and also Impulse.
Ooh, this is a nice tech. I think if you guys don't know what this is there's a card called Rescue Ace Impulse and Rescue Ace Fire Attacker, right? So obviously we've seen these cards being played in the Rescue engine.
Rescue Ass?
Rescue Ass, you know what I'm saying? I like that deck, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But now we can actually use it as a tech card, like, and it is a hand trap, right? Activates in the hand, so it fulfills that hand trap requirement for us. But it's basically Fantasme without needing your opponent to link summon.
True.
But the caveat is your opponent needs to perform some sort of search. But if you think about it,
every deck searches.
Normal Summon Ash, Normal Summon Populous, those type of cards perform searches. Yeah, so those cards historically have been played in the Rescue Ace deck, but now we can actually see them being played as a tech card. The main reason being that it's very similar to Fantasme, right? But it has like a nice benefit where it doesn't require your opponents to perform a Link Summon or summon Link monsters to like get that effect to like draw 2, discard 1.
Exactly.
The main purpose of Impulse is to like, let's say your opponent commits a Normal Summon Ariana, Normal Summon like Ash, Normal Summon Populous. Those cards that activate, right? You can chain the Impulse, get Fire Engine, and or Fire Attacker, and on Resolution, like draw 2, discard 1, right?
Amazing. So, and also in those graveyard effects that rely cards in the graveyard, then this card might be better than putting the extra card
Exactly,
back.
yeah.
True.
You discard Populous. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's insane. So think about that, guys. All right, so that's pretty much it for the unique Fire Engine and Fire Impulse and Fire Attacker. Yeah. Let's go on to the next one. DD Crow, what do you think about that?
Oh, DD Crow is a good one. I think
it's like a side deck.
I think it's a nice side deck card because like let's say that some people decide to like cope, they play a little graveyard deck thing. Maybe some people play tier limit, you know what I'm saying? Like
you never know.
Some people will play tier with transaction rollback, trying to mill transaction rollback with like let's say needle bugs or something, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think Crow gives you like it's a nice coverage amongst a lot of things. Pearly might still be a deck that people might like play as a unique deck choice.
Yeah.
So like having Crow like covers like the Pearly matchup, covers like graveyard decks like the tier limit matchup. Even the Orcus matchup, some people might play Orcus, you know, with Heart once it go into 1. I think it's a solid side card. Covers a bunch of random stuff.
I agree. So DD Crow is really nice. And also, next format, everyone is only playing one Grunix in the main deck.
Yeah, a lot of people like been playing one Grunix, right?
Yeah.
Like, I know people are playing 2, but for deck size limitation, they might want to go to like 40.
Yeah.
And cut 1, so maybe the 1 crow can hit the Grunix, the 1 crow can hit Princess. Right?
True.
So.
We got Droll and Lockbird. Obvious.
Man, I think it's like a main deck card,
main
right?
deck.
Like it's just like a lot of decks are performing searches right now. You know, you got like Bonfire, which super plays into Droll.
Yeah.
You know, like normal summon As, normal summon Populous. All those cards like gets you adding cards from your deck to your hand.
Yes, sir.
And you know, I've been playing the structure deck, like the Fire King structure decks. They're super fun. Like, you know, like putting 3 structure decks together, throw a bunch of good cards in. And one of the weaknesses I found with the Fire King engine is that like a lot of your plays where you like require you to like search. Like,
first.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless you hard draw.
Unless you hard draw.
Hard draw Grunix.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
So like if I go like normal summon Ponix and I get access to like Sanctuary for Island,
and draw on that.
and then they Droll me, I can't even use Island.
Yeah.
So it's like so rough.
Yes.
So I think like the fact that Droll is like really good even against the structure deck version of the deck. I can't even imagine how good it'd be for like when the full power version comes out with all the fire support.
Yeah, no, Pac, I 100% agree with you with that.
Yeah.
Card is actually very strong. It's considerable. Card's actually very strong moving to the next format, and you know, like it's one of those god cards in my opinion.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if you activate it, like it just decides the game immediately.
I always consider. I feel like Droll is like equivalent to Max C sometimes.
It is.
Except it's like the inverse of Max C. It's like instead of drawing more cards, your opponent can't add more cards.
Yeah,
right?
and it also covers lots of matches other than Snake Eyes and also other than Fire King, which is a huge. Vanadium is huge.
Yeah.
Huge Vanadium. So that deck, Droll Lockbird is definitely a main deck card. Next, talk about Shifter.
I'd say it's a main deck card for sure if your deck could play it in the main deck,
and
right?
Kastira.
Yeah, Kastira, Pearly.
Flunder. Yo, F that deck. I actually hate Flu.
Yeah, the Flu Goose too.
Bro, the only way the deck loses is if the deck loses to itself, actually.
Yeah.
And the direct draw is crazy. You actually don't. You actually can't win.
Yeah, but I hate those type of decks where like my like how whether or not I win the game is so depending on my hands.
Yeah.
Like I want the like, and I feel like if you think you're a good player, you want decks that gives you the potential to outplay.
Yeah.
Like very non-linear decks, and like Flu's very linear.
Exactly.
Morbina, Eaglin, and Panda, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. Nice.
There's one play.
Nice.
You have one play.
Yeah, nice brainless deck, bro.
Yeah.
Sorry, man. Sorry. All birds, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I hate you.
Cuckoo!
Sauravis, actually.
Sauravis, I would say it's a main deckable card.
100%.
If you can play it. And actually, that card will actually be in the main deck in a few decks now, right? So let's talk about it, right?
What's his voice?
Voice's voice is going to be playing that in the main deck. So your Imperms, your Effect Veilers, which are cards that are expected to be in the meta, means they're going to be nullified, right?
Yeah.
Like you can stop your opponent's SP Little Knight. Like
Of
cards
course,
really, really good.
Prometheus too as well.
Yeah.
Princess. Definitely a main deckable card if you can main deck it.
If you can main deck it,
I do agree.
There's actually one of the things we were doing in the Pearly deck is we were actually testing main decking Sauravis.
Yes, I remember that.
We can, because you know, like the Pearly deck loses the Imperm Veiler and like the cats sometimes.
Yes.
So like being able to like stop that is like really nice. Yeah.
All right. Okay, next let's go on to Bystials. What do you think about Bystials?
Fem, like there's only fire decks and like maybe against like Labyrinth, but the Bystials don't even win you against Labyrinth. The way you beat Labyrinth is you got to Ash and Belle them, right? Like that stop them from getting their advantage loops. And so like I think Bystials are gonna kind of like go out. They're gonna phase out.
They're gonna phase out.
Yeah, so I'll put it in like the go home category. Look, trust me, I love Bystials. I think they're very strong, but
not this format.
Not the right format for it.
Yeah, not the right format. I do agree with Pop on that one. Definitely strong in other formats like tiers, and also if the entire format is like dark reliant.
Yeah.
But it's not like that anymore. Times has changed.
Times change. Yeah.
We're moving from the year of the dark to the year of the fire.
Yeah, now, everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked.
That's what I'm saying.
The chicken nugget attack, the Ponics.
All right, next we got Gamma. It's a one-off though.
Gamma's really good. I like that. I mean, if Gamma was at 3, I think we would play it.
I do agree with that.
Like if Gamma was at 3.
Yeah, yeah, Bonfire Surge Ash Effect.
Yeah.
Gamma.
Like,
GG. GG.
Like Gamma would be crazy right now, but it is at 1. So if you do decide to play Gamma, I don't think it's a bad idea, but you have to add 2 more cards of Delta to complement it, right? So because if you're already playing the one, like if you're playing one good card for 1 brick, it's not really worth it.
Yeah, you'd rather play like 2 deltas and 1 gamma.
Yeah, so you'd play 2 delta, 1 gamma, and then 1 driver. And what delta does is negate spells, right? But there's all very powerful spells in the format. Bonfire,
Original.
Wanted, Original, Talents, like Prosperity, Thrust, like
so much.
Yeah, so many cards, right? So I think it's not bad. If you want more hand traps that are very, very good, then you could consider playing those cards, yeah.
Yeah, so I definitely put it in the experimental as well. So definitely some cards you guys can consider testing out.
Yeah, testing out. Yeah.
Next we got Skullmeister. What do you think?
It's terrible.
Terrible. I think
just
it's
bro,
ass.
like, it's just not good enough, man.
Yeah, it's like it's also like Unchained is also phased out as well.
Yeah, Unchained's phased out. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. I do agree with that. Let's go with Ghost Mourner. What do you think about Mourner? Spooky Dogwood. No. Let's go with Dogwood.
Dogwood. Hey, okay. This is a card that like I jokingly said this a couple of times, and I've said this about Droll too, but I feel like this is like it's a maximum time. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Like, but I have sided Dogwood before at a YCS a couple times.
Same. Honestly, it won me a couple games, bro.
Yeah, because like for instance, like in YCS Cancun, I knew that the Unchained Mirror
was gonna be crazy.
It's very like tedious, very long, and it can be very extended out. And in Game 3, if you don't have Spooky Dogwood in your side, you're gonna lose to your opponents gaining life points off their DD contract.
Yeah.
So, what Dogwood allows you to do is that when you lose Game 1 and you win Game 2, but you can only win Game 3 through like very extended bouts with your opponents, you are in a predicament where in Game 3, if you don't have Dogwood in your side, you will automatically lose in time.
True. Because
your opponent just gains life, right?
True.
So Dogwood allows you, it prevents like you going to that scenario where you lose that very important Game 1.
True.
And so that's why like maybe the Fire King Mirror is gonna be very extended, very long, to the point where like if you lose Game 1, they'll try to break your board Game 2. And maybe you still win at the end of the day, but then Game 3, they'll find a way to gain life and just lose. Right?
True.
So Dogwood prevents that. So I think Dogwood is considerable for that reason.
Okay, nice. Let's go with Irish Sword Soul.
I don't know that. Honestly, trash. Let's put the shit in the trash. I don't even want to know what that card does.
Let's go with, next we got Contact C.
Contact C? You know SP requires any 2 monsters, right? So make IP Masquerade? Like, thank you. Thank you.
So go home.
Yeah, like, bro, SP's in everyone's deck right now. Like, you could be playing a tier 1000 deck. You have SP. Look it off. Thank you.
No, but what if they can't afford it?
What's that?
If they don't have SP in the main.
Bro, IP Masquerade is like 1 cent right now. It's like $1. Did they get reprinted like Infinity?
Hey, go home.
Yeah.
Have you heard this one? Darkhold Dragon.
Darkhold Dragon? I don't know what that card does. That shit's probably ass. Put that shit in the go home category. Like, come on. Are you saying Darkhold Dragon? Are you serious?
Yeah, like what a card is destroy something from the hand, search Darkhold.
I'd rather play Shifter in a deck that can't play Shifter. I don't have a choice. Like I'd rather play Shifter in my Fire King deck.
And last one we got on the list, Swift Scarecrow. What do you think?
Swift Scarecrow. Are you serious?
What? I'm just asking you an honest question.
Bro, it's the worst in the battlefield. It doesn't even summon itself. So shit. Like, come on, bro. Like maybe you're playing Runic Stun, but bro, they put all the floodgates at 1. You can't even play Runic Stun like anymore. 1 Tizibu.
I'm crying.
1 Rivalry, 1 Gozen. Nice Swift Scarecrow.
I'm crying. You're actually so jokes.
You'll die next turn. Don't worry, dog.
So go home for sure.
Just go home, yeah. That shit belongs like in a binder, stored away in the basement, dog. Open that shit like 10 years from now when we invented time machines. So we can go back. You know what I'm saying? That's when you would play it, 2011. I don't even think they played in 2011. That's how shit the card was.
Yeah, they've been playing in FTKs.
Oh, really? Great. Yeah. I wonder how they did.
All right, guys. So that's pretty much it for all the hand trap techs here on our tier list video. Let me know your thoughts. At the end of the day, guys, we want you guys to learn something from these videos.
Yeah.
Try these decks out for yourself. If you guys have any other considerable hand traps or the stuff that we can talk about in next Tech Talk video, please leave in the comment section below because we love to talk to you guys and just like chill. You know what I'm saying? Like we're just chilling.
We're just chilling.
Just 2 boys talking about Yu-Gi-Oh. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Listen to this on the car ride home or something. You know what I'm saying? Like you're working all day, you ain't got time to test. You know what I'm saying? Well, we did the testing for you.
Yes, exactly.
So hope you guys maybe get something insightful out of this. If 1 card goes to your main deck as relatives, I think we did a pretty good job. So.
Exactly.
Yeah,
bro. Honestly, if you play Ash in your main deck, just say thank you to us. You know what I'm saying? just tell us. Sam Bach, thank you so much for telling me to make
Yeah.
Please, just thank us. You know what I'm saying? Like, we helped you. If you made like Nib, we helped you. If you made like Droll, you guys probably watch this video. So shout out to you guys.
Exactly.
Thank you guys so much for coming for our Tech Talk. It's your boy Sam.
From Team Samurai.
And
Pack. From Team Samurai. Signing out.
All right, guys. Peace.